Hello everyone and welcome. A few weeks back I did a review of a prototype Bluetooth OBD2 code scanner code reader that was affordable and had free lifetime updates. After I did that review, someone suggested that I look into the Thinkcar BD6 OBD2 code Bluetooth scanner. So I did, and I liked what I saw. After looking into the Thinkcar code reader, I decided to test it out to see how it performs and let you guys know in case this is a scanner that you would be interested in. So if you've been looking for an affordable Bluetooth OBD2 code reader that has free lifetime updates, has a lot of functionality, and costs less than $70, stick around as I unbox and test this OBD2 code reader from Thinkcar. Alright guys, so when you unbox this puppy, this is everything you get. So let's talk a little bit about some of the features that this guy has. But before we get started testing this guy, do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. That way you get notified every time I do another product review video, DIY project, or a sale at a big box store where I can help you guys save even more money. Alright then, so this is the Thinkcar BD6 OBD2 scanner and code reader available on their website, link in description below. At the time of making this video, this little scanner retails for $56.99. This little guy has a 1-year warranty, and when you unbox this guy, this is what you get. You get the little dongle, the little scanner right there, and the owner's manual that comes in several different languages telling you everything about this guy, how to get it hooked up, set up, and how to use it, all that kind of good stuff. The dimensions on this guy are really quite compact. You're only talking 2 1/4 inches by 2 3/4 by about 1 1/4. So very, very small, tiny little dongle, very convenient, easy to use it. So this guy is a full system OBD2 and EOBD scanner and code reader that can read fault codes from systems such as the ECM, TCM, ABS, SRS, BCM, IMM, BMS, TPMS, SAS, fuel system, electrical, etc. This scanner works with the free downloadable Thinkcar app, which is compatible with Android 5.0 or higher and iOS 9.0 or higher. So whether you have an Android or iOS system, either way you can use this little guy. This scanner can read and clear codes, read freeze frame data, check O2 sensors, check evap status, perform IM readiness, perform DTC lookups, and more. This scanner has 5 system resets built in, such as oil reset, EPB reset, ABS bleeding, IMMO key programming, and throttle adjustment. And they may add more in the future, because one thing I've learned, I have a few different Thinkcar scanners, and every time they do an upgrade, over time they give you more and more features to add into the unit free of charge, like this guy has free updates. This code reader has the most important feature that a lot of you guys asked me for, which is that this scanner has free lifetime updates. So once you buy it, you can continue to use it forever and it'll continue to be updated into the future regardless of what cars you have. This scanner can show you live data stream, it can graph and record the data stream, it can also create reports that you can print out or email to yourself. This scanner is compatible with over 115 different car manufacturers across the world, such as GM, Ford, Chrysler, Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, and many more. This scanner can be used in 12 different languages such as English, French, Spanish, Italian, German, Portuguese, Chinese, Japanese, Greek, Polish, Turkish, and Russian. So this little Bluetooth OBD code reader seems to be a very good scanner for the DIY auto enthusiast that wants to be able to work on his own modern vehicle but doesn't want to spend a fortune on an expensive scanner or have to pay for yearly updates. So let's take a closer look at this guy and see how it performs. Alright guys, so let's take a little closer look at this little guy. Look how tiny that is. It is a tiny little dongle, not like some of them that are gigantic. You see it right there? Fits right in the palm of your hand. Very, very tiny, small little unit. And it is your standard little OBD2 code reader. Plug that into the vehicle port and you're ready to go. And this little guy, not much around the sides. It's all about the same. On the back here is where you have all your lights. You have your power on light, Bluetooth active, and the red warning light in case you have a problem. These guys light up when you plug it into your vehicle, telling you exactly what is going on. And you just plug this guy into your vehicle, the little scanner right there, and you're off and running. So very compact, lightweight. Let's get this guy plugged into my car and take some readings and check out how the scanner works and how the software works. All right, guys, so I have the dongle hooked up to my vehicle, and we're looking at my tablet view right now. I'm doing a screen capture because that way it's easier for you to see exactly what we're looking at instead of pointing the camera at the tablet, looking at a reflective screen, which isn't a very good way to look at it. With a screen capture, you get to see everything that I'm doing much more clearly and follow along everything that we're talking about and so forth. So this is the Thinkcar software that you download, install it on the phone, tablet, etc. Get it from the App Store, whichever one you belong to. And like I said, it works with both Android and iOS. So either way, you're covered. So download it, put it on your favorite device, and you're off and running. You're ready to go. And you see right there, it's very easy. You scroll up and down. There is no side to side on this particular screen. So you have your vehicle coverage up there where you can look up the VIN and the information on the particular vehicle that you want to scan. If you don't know anything about that vehicle, that'll do it for you. All system diagnosis, where basically it'll go in and do a diagnostic scan based on the software that is compatible with your vehicle. And there's a difference between all system diagnosis, which follows the manufacturer requirements, as opposed to OBD2 functions, which is just a standard OBD that all vehicles have to comply to. So you can use either one of those two, whichever one works best for your particular vehicle. On the maintenance functions, that basically you click on that, and that takes you to the 5 free maintenance functions that come already with this software, with this little dongle that you paid for and you activate it. That's one thing, you have to activate it and get it all set up before you can start using it. And I already went through and did all that stuff. And basically what you do is you click open on each one of these things. It'll take you into the process of using each one of them. I'm not going to do that on my vehicle. I don't need to do any of that stuff. And I already clicked on it. And when you click open, it basically goes into the whole diagnosis thing again before it actually goes down to the individual one of these different things. But we're going to go straight into the diagnosis, and that'll make it easier for you to see exactly what it can do. And then if you scroll up, you can see right there, reports. Under the reports tab, basically what it'll do is it'll keep all your information on different reports that you have, scans that you've done, information that you gathered on your particular vehicles. The Think Store, you can go in on that and you can buy different things from Think Store. I'll click on that and see right there, you can buy different things. You can add more things to this if you wanted to. If you want to just go with the 5 basic functions that you already got, you're fine. You can stay at that level. But Thinkcar gives you flexibility where you can add more things to it for an additional fee. If you want to do it, you buy it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to buy it. That's as easy as that. So that's fairly convenient right there. Gadgets is the same thing. It's just a few little things on there that checks for battery voltage and TPMS and all that. But these are the additional things that you need to get as well for an additional price. If you want to do that, again, go ahead. If not, you don't have to. Doesn't force you to do it. And then the history, where basically it keeps track of history of your vehicle, what you've done, repairs you've made, upgrades you've done, all that kind of stuff. You can store it all right there, and that way you don't need to go hunting around. If you ever want to know down the road, what have I done to this vehicle, you can look at your history report, and that'll tell you everything right there. So let's go in through here, and I'll show you the difference. Like, let's go into the OBD functions first, and that'll show you right there where basically it'll start scanning the vehicle, and it's just following the OBD protocols. And you see right there where it gives you all the information on your vehicle, again, just following the OBD protocols, not the vehicle-specific protocols. That's a very easy way to look at some things without having to get too deep into the weeds on what your particular manufacturer has to say. And at the top there, it has the vehicle information, barcode, and VIN number, and all that kind of good stuff if you want to use that. If you want to scan it for something like that, if you happen to have a scanner, you're a technician or something like that, you can use this as well. But obviously I'm blocking that out because you don't need to see that information. And if you click enter, then basically it'll give you different things on there like the IM readiness. You can check live data, freeze frame, fault codes. You can clear fault codes. You can test the O2 sensor. All these are basic things that are OBD function, not vehicle specific. So it is a bit more limited, but that gives you some idea what you can do through the OBD port. Now let's go back to the screen right here and let's go into the all system diagnostic. And then you click on that, and then what you're going to do is you're going to click the VIN decoding, and then that will, again, go through the process of figuring out what vehicle you have and all that kind of stuff. And then this basically goes through the roulette thing where it tries to figure out what vehicle you have, and it checks the VIN number and all that kind of information on it, make sure that it's accurate, and again, it narrows it down to what vehicle you have and what software is more specific for your vehicle.
And then there you go. And then you can select from a health report, system scan, system selection, vehicle information, all that kind of good stuff. The vehicle information, again, goes back to telling you what the VIN is, the different things of the vehicle, cylinders, all that kind of stuff, you know, the basic stuff. The health report, let's look at that. And then that does a scan, basically telling you what's going on with your vehicle. It tells you what functions it has, what functions it doesn't have, etc. Like you saw right there a moment ago, some of the things said not applicable because they're not built into my vehicle. And then right here on the GEM, that's a generic electronic module smart junction box. That's the fuse box, basically. That's a fancy naming that Ford gives it. And then you see I have a couple of DTC right there, where battery voltage is out of range, and I have a stoplight circuit short the battery, which is either shorted out or it's the tail light is out or something like that. I haven't had time to look into it. We saw that in the previous video that I did a couple of weeks ago. The battery voltage out of range, not surprising. This battery is getting pretty old, and it's probably going to die on me very, very soon, so that's probably all it's reading right there. This is like a 2-year battery, and it's already going on its 4th year, so I got a pretty good life out of it, so it's about ready to go. So there's no need to look into that. Let's see, what else do we want? Let's look at the PCM. And then right here you can go into module information, read fault codes, which the PCM has no fault codes. Clear fault memory, which again, it has no fault codes in this particular module. Remember, the other one was not in the PCM, it was in the junction box, which is basically the fuse box. Let's read some data stream. All right, so then here we have all the different things that are applicable to this vehicle, or that, I should say, all the things that it can read. Not all of them may be applicable to my vehicle. You don't know until you actually start going through it and selecting it, and then it'll tell you whether it actually can read it or not, depending on the different modules that are available on it. Because Ford may put this on some of their vehicles, but not all. So my vehicle may or may not have some of this stuff, and that's how you know. But let's take a look at some of the different things here. Let's look at the fuel rail pressure, fuel rail pressure transducer, fuel rail, let's see, right there, fuel rail pressure, temperature, I don't know if it'll have that. Let's see, that one, fuel system status. Let's take a look at a few different things, and then we'll graph it and see what we can see. Let's see, fuel tank pressure. What else do we have? Generator command line, I don't know about that. Let's see, heated exhaust sensor, bank 1. Okay, we'll take a look at some of those, see what it gives us. We'll just call up a bunch of stuff and see what we can look at. All right, so let's take a look at some of these different things and see what it can tell us. And let me turn the vehicle on. There we go, because otherwise probably a lot of this stuff will give us no information at all. And then we'll go to OK. And then you see right there on the right side, it shows you the different things that can be graphed and the ones that cannot. If we scroll through it, you see right there, some of these things cannot be graphed. It's either on, off, or yes, no, or error, no error. So they cannot be part of a graph. The other ones, you'll see right there that it actually has a little graph indicator on the right-hand side. And then right there also next to the numbers, you see a little down arrow. And you see right there where you can select, in this case, volt or millivolt. So it'll give you a choice of different things you can select based on whatever it is that you're looking at. Since I already have, on the settings, I selected Fahrenheit for the units. Right there you see it only shows Fahrenheit. It doesn't give me a choice of centigrade. But if you select metric units, obviously all this will change. PSI right there, it'll give you PSI, MPa, HPa, bar, KPa, etc. So you have a lot of choices on that one. So it gives you different choices on each one based on how you want to see it. So let's take a look at graphing some of these. You hit the combine button at the bottom, and then we'll graph some of them. You can only graph 4 at a time. So let's just pick 4 of these different items and go through there. And there you go. You see a nice little graph on there showing you how the different things basically respond. And let's see, I don't know if giving it some gas may cause some changes. There you go. You can see how things change up and down based upon what is going on. And the heated exhaust oxygen sensor bank 1 is obviously the one that keeps going up and down, changing the most dramatic of all. But all the others give you a different view. The fuel tank pressure pretty much is staying the same, so that's not doing anything. For the purposes of the demonstration, it's not giving me a lot to show you on the fuel tank pressure. But if you were testing it and you want to make sure that it stayed correct, then that would be very important to you, obviously. But you see right there how the heated exhaust is changing as we're going through this. The temperature is going to change on that quite a bit as we go through it. But you see right there that it gives you a nice graph, and it continues going off the graph, and you can change it on there. And then let me see, you can probably expand it and contract it, pinch and zoom, and change the way it looks. That way you can make the image larger, smaller, whatever it is, and you can go through it. And at the bottom, you can see there that it also gives you a numeric representation, so you don't have to rely on reading the graph. The graph gives you a visual of what's going on, but down below you see numerically what each one is doing. So that gives you a very good representation, so you can see if things are within spec or not within spec. So it gives you much more to work with. So that's fairly convenient. And then you can just go back and go back to data stream and select which ones. And the cool thing about this, you go back to data stream. One of the things that I found right now is that when you go back to this, one thing that's convenient is that it clears itself out. Some of the other scanners that I've used in the past, every time you go back, you have to clear it because it'll just keep your selection on there. So it's kind of annoying. Sometimes you can have more than what you want. But you see right there, it's all cleared out. And let's see. Let's go through, see anything else on there. We already looked at fuel pump. Let's look at the O2 oxygen. Let's see. Heated control, heated exhaust, heated oxygen status, that. That gives you right there. So those are that. Basically, long-term fuel, short-term fuel. Let's go through that. Okay. See, of those that I picked right there, only 2 of them can be graphed. The other 3 cannot be graphed. See, the heated exhaust oxygen sensor is either a yes or a no. The heated exhaust oxygen sensor 21 status and 11 status is either error or no error. So those are just things that you look at without a graph. You look at it numerically, or whatever you want to call that, a display that basically tells you if it's good or bad. And we can combine these 2 right here, long-term and short-term, and let's see what that tells us. And then you look at this one, and there you can see if I give it gas, it changes around quite a bit. And then you can change the display on there to do whatever it is that you want to do, make it easier so you can see more exactly what is going on, and you can read it more clearly. And the graph adjusts itself based upon your input. So there you go. That's the long-term fuel trim number 1 and trim 2. And they're both staying pretty consistent, so that's pretty good. Otherwise, I would have all sorts of errors if one bank was firing different than the other banks. That would definitely be a problem. But they're both staying identical, giving the vehicle stability. Good, that's fine. So then we go back to this, and we go back to the data stream. And again, you can just pop in and out of that very conveniently and select all the different things if you want to look at different things on there. But it has quite a few different things that you can choose from. And I suggest you can actually download this software if you want to know all the things that it can do. You don't have to have the dongle to download the software. You can just download the software and look through it. And then you can't take any readings, obviously, because you don't have the dongle. Then when you buy the dongle, then you just activate it in your account, activate it in the software, and you're ready to go. But if you're curious as to what this software can do, it is free to download. Go to the App Store, download it, play around with it, and then you'll know exactly what you can do. And it seems to be quite good, quite extensive. Has a lot of good information on here that I'm just scrolling through it. And a lot of good information on here of different things you can do. And at the making of this video, this little dongle is only like $50-something. So for under $60, well, with tax and so forth, let's say around $60. That is pretty darn economical. You're not going to get a good scanner with all this functionality for $60. If you go to a Harbor Freight or Walmart or any place like that, you're going to spend $50-60 for a cheapy little bottom of the barrel type of scanner. So that's O'Reilly's or AutoZone. That's what they're going to charge you for a cheapy little bottom of the barrel scanner. So a good scanner like this one, this is a pretty decent price, pretty good price indeed. So there you go. You can see I'm scrolling through this, and you see that it has a lot of good information on here that you can use for all sorts of diagnostics. So I think it's really good. I think it's a very good scanner. And then if you want, you can just go back and clear out of there. And like I said, you can go into all the different things. And by the way, if you do happen to get a DTC, all you do is click it right there and it tells you what it is and what the problem is that you're looking at and the code. And you notice that these, anything that starts like in this case with a B, that's telling you right there, that is not an OBD code, that is a Ford specific code. So that tells you that's why you couldn't find this with the OBD module. You had to go into the Ford one to be able to see this stuff. So this is a Ford manufacturer specific code. So that's how that showed up. So there you go. You go back over here and we exit out of this guy and we're back to the beginning screen, and you can go into this vehicle and do more things, go to a different vehicle, etc. So that's pretty convenient.
All right, guys, there you have it. A review and demonstration of a compact and economical Bluetooth OBD2 scanner. I think this is a great little scanner and code reader for the DIYer. It gives you OBD2 scanning functions. It gives you vehicle-specific scanning capability. Plus, it also gives you several free reset functions that are the most commonly used. You can also buy more functions if you choose to do so from the built-in App Store. So for a very economical price, you can get a powerful scanner and the ability to expand its capabilities if you wish to do so. Keep in mind that Father's Day is just around the corner, so if you want to get a great gift for Dad, I'm sure he'll love something like this if he's a DIYer that works on his own cars. Check out the links below for all the details. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye for now.